Hello and welcome to Clanfolk, a new game for the channel. Clanfolk is a colony simulator slash sort of base builder that's set in 14th century Scotland that I've been playing for quite a while in my free time. Obviously I'm Scottish, so you know, I quite enjoy games set in Scotland. There's not very many of them, so it's always nice to have that. And given my recent trip to Skye and how beautiful it was, I thought, you know what, why don't we have a little go at that? Because it's quite interesting when we were there, you sort of see all the sort of old style things, you know, they're still using peat in that, so it's quite cool. So I thought we'd have a little bit of a game. So what do you do with Clanfolk? So you basically take a family and you're gonna set them up like a home, make them thriving. It's still in early access, but it's got a lot of features into it and it's quite unforgiving, especially if you play it on a little bit of a harder way of doing things. We're gonna have a heavy rain and snow mode rather than just the base mode, because it makes rain and snow much more likely. Storms will continue longer than possible, and there's no grace period at the start of the game. Scotland is very wet, and this makes it very believable how wet it is. We're going to have a lot of peak bogs, we're going to have a lot of lakes, we're not going to have very many mountains. So these are kind of like your world settings here, so you have a certain number of points that you can allocate to say, oh, I want more of this, less of this. So we're going to have more lakes, we're going to have more peak bogs, less in the mountains, we kind of like in a valley, potentially. Kind of, you know, up in Glencoe, something like that. I think we'll have maybe slightly less grassland, some more wildlife. Wildlife's always fun, and we'll maybe have some more forests as well. We've got another point. Let's get some more peat bogs. Peat bogs are kind of interesting because they kind of create a blocker that you can't really build on. But peat is very useful, which we'll go into in a bit. So we'll build up our world. It'll do a little bit of terraforming here. And here we are. This is our place here, so we can see that we're kind of situated in between a couple of lakes, some nice little rivers here, and some very large peat bogs, a couple of mountains here and there. Excellent, I think this is looking pretty nice. We could rebuild this if we want and get a new map, but I'm kind of happy with this. Yeah, let's build our clan. So, you can choose any of the clans in the game. I'm going to choose one very specific one, Colquhoun, which is my own. So, we're going to go Colquhoun, and we're going to go for a custom start. Usually that you'd want to do something like a fresh start, where you get a clan of people together. It's like two older grandparents, then their son and their wife, and then a little baby as well. But we're actually going to go for a custom one. We're going to build our own. So, we're going to have baby boy, Arthur. Here we go. Here's our main guy. And then we can advance time to make him a little bit older. Perfect. He's now juvenile. He's going to have a sister, Elspeth. They're both afraid of the dark. And we get to grow them here. And it's kind of like, what's the best way to describe it? It's kind of like a prepare carefully mod for RimWorld, but not quite as much. You don't have as much granularity in it, to be fair. He's going to have a partner, Lilius. I'm not too happy with Lilius, so we're going to re-roll her. She's sickly. Kirstine. There we go. So these people like to persuade, they like making clothes. Don't like the fact they both like clothes. I quite like Arthur, so we're going to make Annis. She's lazy. Not that great, but she is an optimist, so that's good. And we have Elspeth as well. She's pretty good at gathering, getting lumber. She's not very good at farming, but that's okay. We can potentially get around that. We've got somebody who's good at harvesting. That's good. They're going to have a little baby boy, Huchin. And we're going to advance time some more. So we're going to have Arthur, Annas, and his sister Elspeth, their young son, Huchin. And then let's have another baby girl. There we go. And Christian. There we go. So looking good, looking good. Got a fair amount of skills that are around the place, so everybody has certain things they both like doing, that they're very talented at doing, and things they dislike doing, but they have different levels of ability to get higher up in skill level depending on their certain personality traits. Currently we have a survival chance of 30%. That's not too bad, I suppose, but we can add to that by adding to our inventory. This is kind of like Dwarf Fortress, where you choose prepare carefully and you're trying to decide what you want to bring with you. So we're going to bring some dried mushrooms with us. That's quite a few dried mushrooms, so that's 40 dried mushrooms. That can do us for a couple of days. We may want to bring some more. We've got quite a bit here. We'll get some smoked meat as well. We will get ourselves a couple of hens, because you can't go far without a hen. We could bring a dog. I do want to bring a dog, but I don't think that's the best shout for just now. What instead we'll do is bring a sow and we'll bring a boar, and that'll give us a breeding pair of pigs. We could bring a rooster along with our hens, but I'm not too worried about getting more hens at the moment. Then again, it is only 50 points. Yeah, let's do it. Now, we could bring us along a bull. Not really seeing the use of that. Probably better off bringing a sheep if we're going to bring anything. Yeah, we'll bring a sheep. Sounds good. So we got 3 hens, we got a sow, a boar, a rooster, and a ewe. A couple of these guys are going to be kind of useless. The boar and the rooster, not really going to do anything for us. The hen's going to give us eggs. The sow and the boar together will produce piglets, which we can then butcher for meat later on. And we can also get a ewe for some wool, which would be nice. We can spend a little bit more money, so I think we'll get some additional meat, and we'll just fill up the rest with mushrooms. 41% chance of survival. As we say, je suis pis, if I can. Let's go. Okay, and this is the start of the game. So, we can see here, we've got our map here, got a couple of alerts coming out the side. We need more beds, we need somewhere to get water, we need somewhere to clean ourselves, and this is our starting location. It's an alright starting location. There's a lot of trees around, which is good in some ways and bad in the other. So the good thing about trees is we can gather branches for them, which is nice, so we will gather branches from them. I like to turn on 100% harvest only, just so we don't waste potentially growing resources. And we're going to tell our people to grab a bunch of branches. We're also going to tell them to grab a bunch of berries, because they can use that as a food resource. Other than that, we'll also set down some basic zones. So we'll set up a wash zone, so people can come over here and they can wash themselves. And we'll set up a little drink zone over here in the river. Thinking it's like the river's probably a better place, less stagnant water. Hopefully nothing is dyed in it. Quite a good amount of fishing. This little pond here has decent amount of fishing in it. The river's not quite as good. You can see the percentage there on the top left, and that'll tell you how good somewhere is to fish, but we can't fish anywhere just now, so it's fine for now. Okay, I think we can just start off. It seems like a fairly easy colony simulator. Like, you think, oh, well, you know, you've got plenty of food, but it can get a little bit more difficult as things goes on. One thing we will talk about is the idea system. This is quite a cool system. There's two ways of doing this. You can either use the point system, where you get ideas unlocked through doing work, etc., or you get it through just collecting things. So for this one, we've got to collect a certain number of things and we unlock an idea. So for example, if we want to know how to build a gravel path, we need to collect 200 stones. How do you do that? Well, you just gather stones. So when you have 200 stones, you unlock that. Berry bushes. If you have 100 berries, you get the ability to plant more berry bushes, which is always very nice, etc, etc. So we're just going to let our people work on away. We've got a bunch of our food out here. You can see this little icon here. That basically means, don't leave these out in the rain. Now, as you can see, it's instantly raining because we're in Scotland. So that is something to keep in mind. We're going to build a little branch pile over here. We can also build a stockpile. So we're going to haul our food over here. The reason we're going to haul our food here is this is an open space here that we can then build a small shack around, so we can protect our food. Trees we can't get rid of yet. We don't have enough tools to do that yet. And we also want to make up a couple of sleep zones just for people to go to sleep in. At this point, it's just basically a spot on the ground that they're going to keep clear, so they can fall asleep on. Get enough sleeping spots, and away we go. All of our people should be working their way automatically. You can assign them priorities if you like, to make sure that they do certain things faster than other things, but we're okay for now. We're going to start gathering some stones as well. There's a bunch of stones around here, around the riverbank. We can gather them up and we can build some stuff out of stones. Otherwise, we're just hauling stuff over to our food stockpile. Good stuff. We're going to bump up the speed a little bit. ×2 is usually a good sort of speed to go at. Things go reasonably fast at ×2. And the way that the sort of daytime cycle works is that you have 10 days in a season. So you have obviously spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Winter can be quite bad and very cold, so something to keep in mind. As it is just now, it's for currently the first day of summer, so we've got 20 days to set ourselves up before winter, before things start getting very cold. Things will also start to get cold in autumn, but we will see how we do. You can notice that some people have a certain dress. So Arthur, for example, he has actually got a plaid on, so he's actually quite warm at the moment. You can see here, so he's basically got his own tartan on. Anybody in our clan starts with tartan, which is very nice. And we're going to set us up to build sickles. We're going to build 2 automatically, and we're going to have automatic auto supply of 4. This basically means that if we have less than 4 sickles, then people will make a sickle, as we can see Elspat is doing just now. And yeah, it should be quite nice, quite comfy little game to play. I really like this game. It is a little bit unforgiving, especially in the beginning. You probably will lose your first one. There's no shame in that. It's always just the way of things, isn't it? We're going to harvest some plants just now, so we're going to cut down some of these reeds, which we're going to use for straw. Straw we can use to build buildings. Kind of like, not quite thatch, but just basically just make it out of straw. Not all these reeds are fully grown, but a lot of them are, so that's good. We will also build a thresher. Now, the thresher is another interesting thing, but we kind of want to have some kind of open space, or at least somewhere we can cover it over. Potentially, we want to build it if we're going to build a sort of area here, we could build it over here and then build out, or we could build it here. Actually, this could be a good place for it to go. Yep, we'll build that there. We'll cut down these plants that are around there. We'll build a thresher. A thresher is where you basically thresh your straw, not straw, sorry, like your oats, your grains and that kind of thing, to separate the seeds from the sheath. And it's another way of getting us straw. It's another way of getting us seeds and such that we can use to then build stuff. And now we're going to need a lot of straw. Fortunately, it doesn't work in the rain, which could be an issue. We will have to see. Got some bluebells here. We can break them down for straw. We will do. More straw is always good. These rivers here are actually traversable, but they will slow down people quite a bit. So it's something to keep in mind. Now we can actually start growing our own reeds as well, so we will, just along the river where we're cutting down these reeds. It's fairly early on in the season, so they should hopefully regrow by the time winter comes around. And we've got our thresher done. Fantastic. So we're going to actually set it so that we are making sure that we've got at least 200 straw at all times. And we probably want to actually make sure that we've got some flax stems so we can make some clothes later on. And we'll make sure we've got hay seeds as well. Hay seeds we can use to feed all of our animals, otherwise they'll just eat the grass. So there's nothing to worry about there. And we've got our first way of getting food, which is, well, other than just grabbing berries, which is an eel trap. Now, you can trap eels using these little cylinder-like things where they can get in, but they can't get back out, or at least they get confused, so they can't work their way back out. I'm going to use them to trap some eels. We'll put one in this river, we'll put one in the river up above as well. Otherwise, just make sure that we're harvesting enough, make sure we've got plenty of branches, we're going to need them later on, and make sure that we're harvesting all of these reeds, because we do need that straw. It's always nice to see the fish jumping about. And you can see as things progress, you can unlock more and more buildings. For example, we can build a serving basket so we can it's easier to get food. And here we are, finally. We can build walls. So we're going to build some nice walls around here. We're going to have to move our work zone, but that's fine. So you can automatically store something for moving, and you can decide where to put it. We're going to put it over here. And we can build a campfire. Interestingly enough, in this game, so these things, you can see some of them, rain stops, but also they throw sparks. So you've got to worry about where you put it. If you were to, say, put this campfire in this heavily grass-landed area, it's going to set a fire. So you really want to make sure it's not around something that's flammable. Now, we are going to put it there. What we're going to do is we're going to tell everybody, hey, harvest all the plants in this area, because this thing is going to throw sparks, which isn't great. So make sure to do that. Build that up. We'll kind of cut down all this grass, and we'll maybe tell them to, like, kind of just clear it out of all the kind of flammable stuff so we don't accidentally set the whole place on fire. That's never a good thing. We have also unlocked a wattle fence, which is nice. So yeah, we'll build this up. This can be a nice little thing. We'll build a little door here, and this will keep things protected from the rain. What we'll also say is, hey, build up a little roof over this entire building, and also build off a little kind of like cover over here for our thresher. And this will stop the rain from stopping our building work or our production work for when we're crafting. Yeah, there we go, Elspeth. Good job cutting all down all these stuff here. Good job. We unlocked another idea. We've got some flax seeds. Hey, fantastic. We get enough flax, we can start retting it, and that'll be good. We're going to tell these guys the eel trap to get some eels, then wait till tomorrow, and then repeat. So every day they'll come over, they'll set up the eel trap, and then go away. And that'll get us some eels over time. We'll have to come collect them, but that's okay. We can do that quite easily. Yep, there we go. We've got some flaxseed, which you can get from the flax sheafs. So we'll make sure as well that we've got enough flax seeds. Seeds can be used to feed your animals, which is always nice. Keeps them fed. But for just now, we don't have to worry about it. There's enough grass around that people will be able to do it. Over here, we're going to make sure that we build a little window here so people don't get upset whenever we're going inside. And we'll maybe say, hey, do you want to make this higher priority? So when you go around, you can say something as emergency boost. So we're saying, hey, this is really important. Get this done sooner than everything else, please. Which we can see here. We're just clearing out the grass and the various plants that are around. We'll maybe get rid of these bluebells as well. We'll get some more straw. We've got a decent amount of straw, but we probably want to make sure that we have a little bit more. And perfect. There we go. We're starting to also build that campfire. We're moving that work zone over here. There we go. Perfect. We can only still build stone sickles, but that's okay for just now. And we've actually unlocked the ability to make grass, which is very nice. So we have got ourselves not quite covered, but going to be covered very soon. Just a little shack over here. when you zoom out, you can see that you've got a nice kind of like area of where you're building. And we've unlocked stone hoes. Stone hoes are good because it lets us dig stuff, mostly for clay. I'm going to make sure that we're cooking our eels. Raw eel is not very nice, in fact. I mean, people say that cooked eel isn't very nice, but it's okay. Like, you wouldn't want to eat it every single day, which kind of what people did back in the day, but it's certainly not the worst thing, I'll put it that way. Let's make sure we get some retting as well, which we can do. Very, very busy. We can see that we've got quite a few tasks to do, but that's okay. Just got to make sure that people are doing them so we can get everything that we need, and we'll make sure that we're harvesting more of these reeds. Ah, perfect. So we unlocked a critter door and a vent. So usually animals can't get through doors, but with the vents they will be able to. We'll think about building a shelter for them, but we've kind of got to build a shelter for the rest of us as well. And that's going to take a lot of straw, because it's going to take us a while to kind of build that. Now, in order to make these storages better, we could build a meat rack over here and a serving basket so we can get them off the ground. It's going to take us a lot of straw, which we're already using a lot of for our roof, but the whole place is slowly but surely coming together. Just in time as well, as it seems like a little bit of a fog is coming in as well. But we're doing alright. We've got 4 days of food thanks to the amount that we brought with us, and worst comes to worst, we've got plenty of animals here that we can always butcher at the end. You can toggle the humans and livestock view, and you can also have a little look, so we can have a little look at our sow here. She's just wandering about, she's quite happy. Everybody else is complaining of neglect. Now that's because they don't have a bed. It's going to be a little bit of time before we can actually make them beds, because we need to unlock that idea first, but we'll get round to it eventually. I think as well, now that we've nearly got this thresher covered, we should have a little look and see if we can harvest any hay, which we can do. Our animals will eat this hay, and that's fine. They can do that if they want, but we can also use this hay to produce some of our straw once we have it processed in the thresher. You can see here we take some hay, we get some straw for it, we get some hayseed. Fantastic. Which we can always use to plant more hay. And in fact, we can actually plant some grass now as well if we'd like. You can see here the growth seasons are in spring and summer. Because we're at the start, we could grow some, but we don't have much of an area. We have this very, very large peat bog here with a little river running through it. Very nice. Another big one here, and then another big one here. We're just going to kind of hug this lake for just now because that's what we need to do. And we'll worry about making things looking nicer maybe a little bit later. The main thing is we've got ourselves a little sleeping area done so people can go to sleep. Our little baby is here as well. We'll just boost up the time a little bit. People are just hanging about just while things are going, and we'll make sure as well that we put down a flammable blocker here. We do not want things like this hay over here if we can help it. We'll maybe even make a little ingredients, crafting ingredients. We can put that around here, just so we're starting to store things just kind of around the thresher. Now, unfortunately, not everything is covered here, so we've got some stuff that is like our dried mushrooms that are losing condition. Because these do not like to be out in the wet, we could see that they are getting too wet, which means their quality is going down. When the quality reaches 0, then they start to rot, which is never good. Get some extra straw from these bluebells as well. They're always nice to get. And we're on to day 2. Overall, things looking pretty good. You can always go for a smaller clan, but they're usually harder than having more people. The more people that you have, the more people you have to do jobs, especially when you have babies. You can see here that Anis and Christian, whenever Christian needs something, she needs to go tend him. They can't do it themselves, and that does take time. Alright, we've managed to make, or get the technology to make stone axes, so we'll make 2 of them if we don't mind. We'll also make sure that we have 10 twine as well, but we'll need some extra straw for that, unfortunately. We can also start to build dirt paths over here, which we probably want to do around our little campfire here, just to make sure that the grass doesn't grow. And we can build, most importantly, a poop hole. Now, we will probably want to make a little room for this, because people don't like it when other people can see them poop. You can understand why. We're going to move this window over here for just now, and we'll make sure to set that as a high priority, and we'll also start to say, hey, let's actually build a little wall around this little poop bit. We can build a door here. It's going to be a very, very small room. That's okay. It's just to keep people happy while they're using the toilet. Now, unfortunately, this is using an awful lot of straw, so I think we're going to have to go out and harvest even more of our reeds than we have already. Always a good thing about reeds, you can use them for plenty of things. Kind of interesting, when we went to Ireland recently, about how they they use an awful lot of straw, but they didn't really say how much they use reeds, which is kind of interesting. In comparison to how much we used reeds back in the day in the UK. But yeah, things going rather swimmingly. We've managed to completely cover up our thresher, so that means now we can work away even in the horrible rain of Scotland, which is always nice. Unfortunately, our campfire will not work, and we don't really want to cover it because, as you can probably expect, straw is very flammable, so we do have to be worried about it. If we're going to build like walls around here, they will get set on fire as it starts to throw sparks around. But no matter, we can just work on away and make sure that we have plenty of straw and hay. As we can see, Anna's getting to work, and we're just building up more and more of these roofs and these little walls here as well. Does look like we do need some more stuff, but we've got quite a lot of tasks to do. A lot of hauling tasks, some harvesting tasks, a couple of crafting tasks as well, but a little bit of farming. As long as we can just get as much as we can get, that's always good. And we probably want to grab some clay as well. Clay is very useful because you can use it to make tiles, you can make bricks out of it. And we've even got some cured flax stems, which we can get at the retting. And we're working away. We're just going to start getting some clay, and it looks like our pig has done a poo. Very, very nice. Lovely. Thank you for that. Obviously, we can use that as fertilizer later. For now, it's not particularly useful to us. Got some ferns over there, and we've managed to collect some clay, so we can now build a charcoal kiln. Charcoal we'll need in order to produce more clay. So we'll just put that over here. It's going to take some more straw. Straw, as you can see, is very useful, and you need an awful lot of it. So we'll just set up some more tasks for that over here. Let's actually get rid of these bluebells. We'll get some more straw out of that. Bluebells you can use as decorations, but don't really see the need for it just now, to be perfectly honest. When is somebody building this stone axe? Hopefully soon, but we probably need more straw for that, because we're probably using a lot of it for the buildings here. Ah yeah, there we go. So we're building up the charcoal kiln. So now we can make some charcoal. This gives us another thing to use our branches for. So let's say 50 charcoal for just now. That's probably enough, at least for the meanwhile. You can also use wood ash, but we don't need that until later on. That's used in tanning. Yep, there we go. More reeds have become available, so we'll make sure people are cutting them down. Could also grow some more over here as well. That would be good. How are you doing over here? You still need a bed, unfortunately, but you'll be fine. These animals will drink from the river here, so we don't really have to worry about that for just now. We've got our lovely poop hole to use. At least it's out of the rain, so, you know, that's something at least, but we haven't quite finished up this bathroom yet. So we'll let our people kind of do that. Oh, there's also some more berries here, so we'll make sure that we harvest some of the berries wherever they're available. Got some more ferns over here. You can never quite tell the difference between ferns and other kind of plants, thinking specifically of turnips and that. And we've got another option for building now. We've got daub walls because we've got enough clay. So we've managed to unlock that. So you need clay for that, you need branch for that, you need straw. The advantage to this is you don't need as much straw as you need for a straw wall, which is good. You just need clay. Clay takes a little bit longer to get. It's quite a long action, but you do get 50 clay per. So you can get a lot of clay very, very quickly, which is always nice. How are we doing over here? Arthur, you're doing very well with construction. You must quite enjoy it. Yeah, you can see here that he's managing to basically roof off this entire area, which is good. This will keep all of our food getting pretty nice. You can see here that our stuff is starting to expire just because it's old. The smoked stuff will obviously last longer than maybe the raw stuff. We can see here this is getting old, has a lot less quality, and it's also too warm for it. You can see in here it's actually quite warm just now. It's 27 degrees. We're really in the height of summer. I do not do well in the heat, so this is far too hot for me. But no matter. We'll build ourselves a little kiln as well over here, just in these trees, so that we can start to make ourselves some pottery. Get a nice little window over here just so we can get some light inside these buildings, and then we can start to think about how we're going to build our first little structure, which will probably be over here. Some people like to do a sort of like large longhouse. I'm not a big fan of large longhouses. We'll probably build something akin to a longhouse soon enough, but for just now, nah, not that bothered. We do have axes now as well, so we can clear these trees. So let's clear out these trees. And we'll kind of build like a little family house over here, and then I kind of like to have things separated. It makes things harder for heating, but I think it looks nicer. Gives it a more of a kind of like villagey or hamlet kind of vibe rather than a just one big long house, which I guess is more traditional, but I'm in charge. We do what I like to do. But yeah, things are progressing along quite nicely. It's only day 2. And we're unlocking quite a lot. We've even unlocked the ability to make actual proper sleeping mats, which I'm sure people will enjoy much more than sleeping on the ground. So let's have a little think about how we want to build this building. So we've got these daub walls that we can use to build. So we could build a nice... We'll probably have to build something like akin to a main room at the moment. We need somewhere for our fire to keep everybody warm. And we just need somewhere for the beds and somewhere to do some crafting inside. So I think just have something like this for just now. Just nice, fairly simple. And this will do. Build ourselves a little door here to keep the heat in and build ourselves a little window. And we probably want to build everybody some straw mats just to keep them nice and happy. We'll build one extra as well, just to be sure. And we'll probably build some paths leading from here down to this kind of like storage area down here. And then we'll build up some other little houses when we get a second. Having a little look around, we've actually got some iron veins over here. Very nice. Iron is useful to get from the mountains, but it's not our only way, which we will go over when we get the opportunity. Which we can see from the fact that we're building up this stone pick, so we'll be able to mine out stuff soon. We've got our dirt patch over here next to our fire done, so that should keep everything flammable off. The grass shouldn't regrow here. There's some more bluebells as well. Ah, perfect, there we go. So now we can clear out, we can mine for gravel, we can mine the mountains, and we can actually mine out some iron and gold ore. Great job, everybody. And we can also build clothes if we really want to. And we have our first straw bed, which we can also then make animal beds for. Animal beds obviously take quite a bit of straw, but we will need them for all of our animals, so we're just going to put them all in here. The advantage of this is animals produce heat, and this keeps everybody warm. So, in winter, everybody should be pretty happy. The only unfortunate thing with this is the fact that we don't really have a safe place to put our fire unless we put it right in the middle of there, which maybe isn't the worst idea. Let's see. Yes, so we can put it there. It's going to be covered with a straw roof. A little bit dangerous, but we can work around that. As long as we say to everyone, hey, just don't put anything flammable here, please. Thank you very much. We need some more twine for the rest of those beds, but that's fine. We're doing all right for our straw. We probably need to do another big hay harvest as well, just to make sure that 1, we have enough feed for the animals, and 2, we have enough straw. And hey, there we go, we've chopped down our first tree. That's unlocked a whole bunch of stuff. Fantastic. With this, we got a whole bunch more storages that we can build, using up logs. Always nice. And we can also build ourselves a butcher's block. Also very, very useful. We could build a pet zone for the moment, which probably isn't the worst idea. We could just kind of build it around here for just now. Just to say, hey, this is where the pets are supposed to go. We'll build in another door when we get a second. In fact, we probably should do that now. We could build a barn door to let large animals through, or we can get a critter door, so we'll just get... we can probably use the door if we let them have the allowed bit there, but we will get a little critter door just in here. And we've also built a log pile. Even better. We should be able to get log walls. Well, we've got water walls, which are medium flammable, and they're not very pretty either. So we're not going to bother with them for the moment. Over here, so we can build a flute and a simple peat spade. So we can use that to help us get some additional warmth. You can burn peat after it dries, and that helps you stay warm during the winter months. So we should probably also build up butcher's block when we get a second. But in the meantime, as things are coming to a close on day 2, we're just chopping away. We're building up these little bits of beds as much as we can, using up our straw and working away. I would quite like it if people would complete this meat rack just so we could store stuff a little bit better. Ah, look, a bunny. So there's obviously a rabbit hole around here somewhere. Ah, here we go. Lots of rabbits. Lots of rabbits. They're breeding like rabbits, some might say. That's good. That's actually really good. That's something we can do for hunting once we unlock snares. And when we unlock snares, we can then put a couple of snares around this rabbit hole and we can hunt them for meat. So yeah, let's get this butcher's block up. Only costs some logs and some stones, and it means that we can kill any of our animals that we want to, like our hens, or we can use our sow. It's currently thing... Come on, get pregnant. I need you to get pregnant so we can get some more piglets. Ah, a happening time. I'm going to speed things up as things get a little bit darker. We're getting our meat stockpile ready to go. Not quite. They'll get it done when they get it done, I'm sure. How are we looking over here? Yeah, things looking alright. We've got our ewe. Our ewe's got a little bit of a sleeping spot, so that's good. She should get a little bit more care now because of that. And overall, things looking okay. We'll probably have to build up another storage area. We can maybe even build it out over here just so we have things close by. We'll build up a little stockpile, just a general stockpile. For things, we've already got our food stockpile. We'll get some tools over here. And we'll probably get our ingredients as well. There we go. Can we build a seed storage? That would be very nice if we could. It doesn't look like we can quite yet, unfortunately. Just somewhere to put our seeds would be quite nice. We might even say, hey, let's just remove a stockpile from here and say store seeds here instead of dried mushrooms, which we should be able to store in here. Yes, we can. Good. We've got 3 days worth of food, so nothing too much to worry about. Summer and autumn are both times where you can get a fair amount of food. You know, you can get berries from berry bushes. There's plentiful wildlife around. You don't have to worry about ice on your lakes. Ah, rat trap. Maybe we've got rats. Ideal. In fact, we probably almost certainly have rats. We maybe want to build one over in this doorway just to protect our food stockpile. Alright, how are we doing? So we're out of oak sheets, we've got plenty of straw, but things are working away. We're actually going to put it up to speed 4 for just now, just to get things moving on a little bit quicker now that we've got ourselves kind of basically set up. We could till some soil and we could grow some, even just some grass, some hay, but we've got an awful lot of jobs. We can see that we've got 231 jobs to do, so people are going to be taking their sweet time to do it. Arthur is building away. Good job, Arthur. Even though it's his time off, he's still working away. Look at him go. Perfect. So we're getting lots of our animal beds done, and he's just working as best he can. Lovely jubbly. Good job, Arthur. Loving it. Now that we're clearing out these trees, we should get a bunch of branches from them. We're getting a bunch of logs as well. Could be an idea that when we unlock it to build this out of logs rather than out of daub, but we're doing alright. We've got plenty of clay. We've got a decent amount of straw. We are going to need more straw, obviously. Everything costs straw. The straw economy in this game is very important. Ah, cool. We can get a haystack if we want. So we could actually expand this out so we can get a haystack here so we can store more stuff as well. Which I think we will. We'll put one here. And we've got a little place for corpses as well. Currently don't have any twine, which is a bit unfortunate, but... Okay, so we can also harvest peat. We're not going to do that for just now, just because people are building up this area here, but as soon as we can, we will harvest some peat and we'll get a little peat storage where we can as well. Ah, would you look at that? We've managed to actually get log walls. They have medium flammability, but they don't cost as much overall resources, and more importantly, don't cost straw, so we will actually replace all of these walls with log walls. Like so. So this means we're going to need a lot of logs, but we are chopping down a fair amount of trees in this kind of general area, so I don't see this as an issue. Let's make sure that we are clearing everything, please. Thank you very much. And we're also clearing out these stumps. There we go. Perfect. And make sure you're doing it over here as well. Thank you. Because we still haven't built any tiles or anything like that, but that's okay. We'll get around to that when we get around to that. People will just chop these down. We'll make sure as well that we're clearing out all of these stumps too. Just so we've got the space in our areas of our inventory. There we go. Working away. And make sure as well that we clear that stump. Thank you very much. Turn back on 100% harvest just so we're not wasting anything. You can see here that our reeds that we have planted are slowly growing. You can see they're only 2 at 20. We could harvest them now, but it takes about the same amount of time as if they were fully grown, so you don't really get the benefit out of it. And I don't really see the point. So we'll just ignore it for now. Alright, unfortunately it is raining again. Who would have thought that it could rain here? But there we are. And we've actually built a snare kit. Fantastic. Let's get a couple of snares. We'll say we'll get probably 3, and we'll set them up around this little bunny hole here. And we should be able to grab a couple of bunnies for ourselves. We could also build a boat and try and hunt for them, but we've got enough things to do at this time. But we can see here we're building up our walls. Fantastic. Just clearing out these stumps. it does look like our food storage is just a little bit not being used. So we're going to increase the priority in these two. We have also got a little rat who is going to be going around and they're going to be eating up our food when they get hungry. So yeah, please get this rat trap up as soon as possible. Built ourselves a couple of snares, very nice. Or we're nearly finished up our snare, and when we do, we'll put one down over by that rat area. And fingers crossed somebody will actually start hauling this food when they get a second. Yeah, look it up. There we go. Kill the rat. Good stuff. Almost instantly, just kill the rat with a rat trap. It's very simple, just a deadfall trap. Stick and a rock, but you know what? It's not quite like the mouse traps we've got today, but the main thing is it works. No, yep, there we go. Perfect. And we can even cook these rats. How lovely. Which we might as well do. We'll start cooking up that meat when we get an idea, or when we get some time and we've got an idea for a snare. So we're going to put this, I'm going to put probably 3 snares around this hole here. The bunnies should walk into this given a little bit of time. You can see they're just kind of wandering about, they're eating the grass here. Main reason that we want to hunt them is 1, we want them for the food. 2, we do also kind of need to protect our own grass supplies. There's nothing stopping them from coming across the river and eating up the precious grass that we need for our animals. Sadly, there's no ability to domesticate them. It would be nice if you could try and domesticate them. You know, rabbits are surprisingly good for kind of meat, especially the larger rabbits. You can use them for meat quite well. And if you've never had rabbit meat, it's quite nice, quite gamey, and you don't want to obviously survive on it by itself, otherwise you get rabbit starvation, but you know, certainly not the worst thing. I'd recommend it if you get a shot. Arthur's an absolute machine. He has built all of these walls by himself, and also, more importantly, this hasn't dipped into our very useful straw supply, which we are going to need for the roof. I would quite like it if they got this kiln built, but maybe there's not enough large stones about. No, there's definitely enough large stones about. They're just being lazy, unfortunately. But here we are at the end of summer 3. So tomorrow will be summer 4. I think we've done pretty well for us so far. We've got a fairly basic area where we're storing our food, which is always nice. We've got a little place here where we can store our seeds once we move those mushrooms, but as it stands, we've got a lot of jobs to do, mostly building jobs, and nobody really likes to haul, so they'll do everything but if they can help it. And we've actually completed up all of our sleep mats, so we probably should get rid of all of these sleep zones here. People are going to be a little bit annoyed because we've done that while they were sleeping, but it's okay. They can come over here and they can just rest up in these straw beds. These straw beds are a little bit better because they do give you a little bit, the sleep mats, the straw mats, do give you a little bit better return on sleep, so that people spend less time sleeping, which means they got more time to work, which is what we want them to do. We could build this bow. It seems to be very insistent on us building this bow, but as it stands just now, I think we're okay. I haven't actually seen any deer yet, but maybe we'll see some soon. Ah, perfect. We finished up some more charcoal so we can make up some signs if we would like to. And we've also got a log bridge that we can use. They take a long time to build, and they take quite a few logs, but we can use them to get across rivers far quicker. As it stands now, I think we're still okay. These reeds still haven't grown. A little bit of a shame. But we can always harvest these ones along here. And otherwise we'll just let people continue to build and cook. Fingers crossed we can get this straw area done sooner rather than later. People are usually not too happy about sleeping outside, especially sleeping outside in the rain. They just don't like that at all. And unfortunately, as we can see here, people have been drinking dirty water, which doesn't do very well for them. Basically means that their bathroom need is constantly going down much faster and has a lower max. In terms of these kind of like sliders here, or not really sliders, but kind of bars, these are people's requirements. So you can see here that they've got a maximum and a current number. So for example, with food, basically you've got 10,000, so when you eat you get a certain amount of caloric value out of a food item, and that fills that bar up a certain amount, and then you have a base rate of going down that can once it goes all the way down, then people are not particularly happy and or starve. So like say for example, if your social goes all the way down, you get a mood debuff down here, which you can see here when he goes into some of the things. He's like, ah, it's stinky, not very happy with that. But say if social went all the way down, he'd become depressed, which then impacts his other things here. He doesn't get as much sleep, so he needs to sleep some more often. His mood goes down, which means he gets a work penalty. We can see here that his work penalty or his work stat isn't that great because he's getting a mood penalty for his maximum amount, which is shown by this little bar that's here. But because he is well fed, he's able to work pretty well. Also, he's got fast metabolism, so he actually does work pretty well, just regardless. That's why Arthur is kind of carrying us at the moment. Anas, in the meanwhile, is also doing a very important thing, and that is making sure that we have enough threshed goods in order to continue the construction of this lovely little bit here. Ah, perfect. So we have actually managed to catch something. I think we managed to catch a rabbit of all things. Yes, we did. Good stuff. So whenever somebody comes around the rabbits go, whoa, and they all start to hide. That's fine. They'll eventually start coming out, and if they start to go towards one of the snares, ah, there we go. You can see there, we've got ourselves a bunny. Good thing keeping these snares about, especially when there's this many bunnies. And you can even, as we have done there, scare them into the snares when they go to collect it, which is very, very nice. We probably want to build some more straw roofs here, just so this is nice and covered. You can see here that we've got a little bit of good spoiling, which I'm not particularly happy with. I would like if somebody would do some more hauling. Maybe we can get Elspeth to do it. What is she good at? She's pretty good at everything. Probably could do with some cleaning as well. Probably just need more people, is the thing. Currently we have no money, so we could actually probably building up a little sign to say that we have vacancy isn't a bad idea. So we can build a little sign here that says, hey, we've got a spare bed, we've got some food, come if you want. Because we're actually doing okay for food at the moment. And we've very nearly managed to secure ourselves some pretty decent lodgings. Still not enough time to harvest the straw. Ah, there we go. Some of it is actually ready. There we go. Perfect. So that planted straw that we did, or the reed, sorry, is now actually ready to harvest. So we'll come down, we can get some more straw from that. Because we're going to need more straw. As always, the straw economy needs are a big must in this game. But I think this has actually been a pretty successful start. I've had far slower starts. I mean, admittedly, we still haven't quite finished the base. I think we're going to set this to a fairly high priority because I want this done sooner rather than later. Just so we have like a little hut with a little bit of a covering. You can even see here our little hut here with a little poop hole. We probably want to make sure as well that we have a little bit of a window so people can get through. There we go. I thought I put in a critter door here. Maybe I did not. Ah, it'll be because I redid the wall. That's it. And we will demolish this pet zone and we'll say, hey, move this over here so it's to a high priority so people do it nice and quick. So we can build a critter door. We'll say to animals. Okay, they can't actually get... Ah, no, there we go. Animals allowed through here now, so they should be able to come in here to use these beds. And we'll get a little critter door because usually the things like the chickens and that, they can't use doors. And our rooster's looking pretty well. We've potentially even got some mushrooms that are going to be coming up soon. Mushrooms obviously very good because we can use them to make some more of our dried mushrooms. Why is this log wall not done? That's going to annoy me if it's not done, so we'll get that done quick. Yeah, okay, we need to clear that out first, that's why. Not a problem. Alright, so we've managed to get our little vacancy sign here. So basically people will come and they'll say, hey, I'm looking for somewhere to sleep for the night. You can say, yeah, you can take up one of our beds if you like. And then they will stay the night, and depending on how much they like what you've done with the place, like your feng shui or that, they'll pay you a little bit of money for that. Don't come all the time, but they're quite useful when they come. They can get you a little bit of money for when you want to trade for some additional stuff. Which we could do because we have plenty of branches that we can give away. Ah, you know what? Yeah, because it's annoying me. We'll get a bow. Why not? The snare economy seems to be doing very well. We've actually got a fair amount of meat lying around. I'm not so happy that it's lying around, but, you know, can't be helped. This fire is a little bit wasted just now. Unfortunately, we're still in summer. It's 21 degrees Celsius, so we're doing okay. We just gotta wait for everybody to go to sleep. Which It's taking a little bit of time, seeing as Hutchinson's just having a little wander about, but it's okay. He's gone to bed now. Time speeds on up. See, some of the animals have come in to have a little sleep in the beds, or at least the bigger ones have. Once we get this critter door, we'll be able to get our hens in as well, and they can start laying some eggs for us, which will be very nice. We can either cook them if they're unfertilized, or I think you can cook fertilized eggs as well, but you have to manually change them to unfertilized, and also get us some additional little chickadees, which we can either keep for additional egg laying, or we can just slaughter for some meat. And just like that, we're almost halfway through summer. Let's increase the speed and get going. Well, I want to get this shelter up by the end of the episode if possible. There we go, got our little critter door done. You guys just sort of move this about, getting the straw stuff done as well. We've moved over that animal bed, so now the critters can get in nice and easily. Perfect. Running a little bit low on straw, which I'm not particularly happy about, so we might need to cut out some more hay. Yeah, that's a pretty decent amount of hay to cut down. Yeah, we can see we're completely out of straw. A little bit annoying, but we are making some more straw as soon as Anas gets on with it. And these reeds are very nearly fully grown. Hopefully they'll grow either today or tomorrow, and we can harvest them up. Get some additional straw as well that we don't need to thresh, because threshing is fairly time consuming, unfortunately. Okay. That's the other thing, you need straw for these animal beds. These animal beds will wear out with use. Just another thing to think about. Over here, we're actually going to start dumping out our moldy stuff, so the stuff that's been left out in the rain. The reason for this is you can use that as a way to fertilize. It's kind of got an old traditional way of fertilizing. You can either use fertilizer, you can slash and burn stuff as well, which is always nice. I always like games that have kind of slash and burn, especially the Unreal World, if anybody's played that. That's a fantastic game. Probably very much up the alley of anybody who watches my stuff, I'll put it that way. Especially if you kind of like those sort of realistic roguelikes. Ah, perfect, we got some mushrooms that we could potentially pick up. So we'll pick up some of these fully grown mushrooms as well. That gives us another food source. We're doing pretty well for food. We've got 4 days worth of food. Given that it's summer, I'm not too worried about our food stocks, but we will obviously want more food too. And as soon as we get this done, we're going to start harvesting some peat as well. Well, at least once we get probably down to... Yeah, we've got a lot of hauling that we need to do. So we'll just kind of haul things about where we can. Got a new idea to hunt wild animals. That's because we managed to finish up our stuff. And we do actually have some mushrooms inside of our serving basket. Fantastic. We got a meat rack as well that people can haul to, but they're just currently working away. And we've actually even got a hide shelf. Fantastic. And we should have some more stuff that we can do. Yeah, we can see here we've got a bunch of these storages here. Place to store wet and dry hides. There's the dry hide here. You don't want this to be out in the rain, so we will not let it be out in the rain. Probably want to make a clothes zone as well. We'll just make it off the side here. We'll require some twine, which we are currently making, but that requires straw, so you know, more straw, always straw. And these reeds, yes, ready to harvest. Harvest up these reeds for me, please. Most of our tasks at the moment are mostly hauling related, which is good. That gives me a good sign that we're pretty much there in terms of completing this house. The house is complete, fantastic. We can haul a bunch of stuff about, make sure we've got things stored in their correct stockpiles as much as they can. Ah, and would you look at that? We have an egg. Hey, lovely. And a whole bunch of rats. Why are you all here? Okay, we need to get a cat. We definitely need to get a cat. Let's get a little rat trap. Fortunately, there's not really any food here, which is good, but the rats will hide about. Don't really like rats. They will eat our food, and I do not want them doing that. We could build ourselves some decorative hides to put on the people's beds, but I don't think we'll worry about that for just now. Very happy with what we've got. Do we want to build a sack? Yeah, we can build a sack. It's useful. Needs straw, but it is very useful to have. Yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with how this has gone. Why is this kiln taking so long to be built? It's because we haven't harvested these trees? Quite probably. Make sure we harvest the plants around here as well, just to be sure. Telling people to hurry up, get this kiln built, because we want to get some clay goods where we can. Does require a bunch of rocks, does require a bunch of straw, but we're getting it done, and that's the main thing. Go grab that straw. Perfect. And we'll probably actually tell everybody, hey, now we've got a bit of downtime, let's replant these reeds over here where we can. And there we go, we managed to finally build our kiln. So we'll tell ourselves, hey, let's get 100 bricks, 100 tiles, and then when you're done, get yourself a clay bowl and a clay jug. Bowls are good for making certain types of food, jugs are good for other stuff as well. Let's clear out these stumps, and let's clear out this bush here. We can probably tell people, hey, let's not clear out this one. We're just using this as a sort of crafting stockpile. And we can get water for here. So there's an interesting system where you can use water for certain things. So like you can collect water in a jug for use of building things like water pails, so that people are not having to go to the river as much. So you can put it like by their bed, so they can always drink when they're kind of waking up or about to go to bed, that kind of thing. Or you can collect ice buckets, and ice buckets are very useful later on because we can use them to keep our stuff pretty handy. Okay, so we've got 2 visitors here. You know what, Essie, you can stay. We'll rent you a bed and you'll pay us for the privilege. Probably won't pay us very much. You can see here they're currently going to pay us 24, and this is based on their stats. So they're going to use up a whole bunch of our various goods. They're going to eat our food. They're going to wash themselves in our situation. They're going to drink any kind of water that we have, and then they'll go to sleep wherever they can. They're not going to be particularly happy because they're going to be sharing a room with everybody. You can see here that people are not particularly happy because they're being disturbed sleep, but this is a huge room, so it does give them a little bit of extra mood when it does happen. Ah, good, and we can make some tallow. So tallow is good because we can use it to make rushlights if we want to, but just now we're not too bothered. Let's have a little check on our sow. She is pregnant, finally. Yes, so we're going to have some piglets. Hopefully we can raise them up to be at least juveniles before the winter comes, and if that is the case, we can use them to at least substitute a little bit in our larders. Oh, the baby's awake. People probably not too happy about that. How's our guest doing? Essie, how you doing? You're doing all right. You're going to give us a little bit of money. 26 coins, nothing to sniff at. That's for certain. She's just kind of relaxing at the moment. And that's the start of day number 6. I think with that, given that we've nearly gone on for an hour, I think we'll call this episode here. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below if you're enjoying Clanfolk. You know I like the game. I like to show off games I like. Hopefully you'll like it as well. As I say, let me know down in the comments. Probably should do another thing where we can probably rename people, either people that join the clan, babies that are born, etc., after people who would like to be involved in the videos. We can always see what happens with the great Colquhoun family going forward. Colquhoun rises, we have our little shack, and this whole place will soon be ours to bend to our will. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video and you like what we do here on the channel, consider becoming a member of the Burger Band for earlier access to videos as soon as they're uploaded, rather than when they're scheduled to be released. Or you can also help the channel by donating via Patreon or Coffee, or becoming a member on YouTube. Up to you. But either way, any and all support is appreciated, but the most important thing you can do is what you're doing right now, which is watching this video. I just want to say thank you for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.